We are Voyagers. I am Marisol, one of the PMS, and this is the team. Lara is the other PM. The design team are Ashima, Rocio, and UX writing, Ria. And from the development team, we have a Brittany, Mallet, and quality assurance with Marilia. We are going to talk about our process. In our sprint review, we're going to talk about our process, research, how we got into our problem space, and a short demo of our product. The problem space that we choose is imposter syndrome and layoffs. We chose this because layoffs can have a huge psychological impact on individuals. It can leave them feeling powerless, uncertain, and vulnerable. Additional layoff can also lead to a loss of identity, self-worth, and confidence, and lead to develop imposter syndrome. After being laid off, most individuals have a hard time developing a plan and taking their time to assess the skills, interests, and goals to start their job hunt. Here are some important data obtained from our secondary research from imposter syndrome and layoffs. 58% feel like imposters at their workplace and feel unworthy of their position even when they landed the desired job. 40% of employees in North America have been laid off at least once in their lives, and 20% of those who experienced a layoff took a pay cut when landing a new job due to lack of confidence. From our process, we use a set of methods that were crucial in answering a wide range of questions and help us understanding who our users are, their needs, behaviors, goals, and of course, their motivations. We conducted 2 formal workshops and team-led brainstorm sessions. We completed 2 empathy mapping exercises. 35 participants were surveyed about imposter syndrome, and 5 empathy mapping and user interviews and usability tests were conducted. This is how our journey looked like until now and the key milestones to develop our product. I am not going to get much into detail because of time, but we can share the information afterwards. First, we define a problem space thanks to secondary research, surveys, and voting. During the week discovery week, 3D agents were tested through usability testing. And after all the research, we finally defined our MVP during the workshop and created my fidelity wireframes. Some of the most important findings in the surveys were our user challenges. They experienced loss of confidence, fear of judgment, and they had a hard time finding their own value. The key insights from usability tests were judgment. Users, they were worried about showing themselves vulnerable, especially by people they know or other professionals. Security and privacy mostly didn't want to have to give any information about themselves and sign in to be able to use the platform. And storytelling. They found hard to assess their skills and properly use the storytelling on their favor for future interviews or for their elevator pitch. Thanks to all this valuable information, we created JourneyWise, and now I will pass it on Ashima from the design team.
Thank you, Marisol. So we're going to be moving on to the next slide. So here's a little bit about what we do. So JourneyWise empowers individuals affected by layoffs to transform negative self-talk into empowering narratives. We guide users to recognize their unique skills, embrace their individuality, and turn uncertainty into opportunity and self-discovery. And lastly, this is a big part for us. We encourage playfulness and self-discovery by utilizing archetypes, which you're going to learn more about shortly. So we created an archetype of the survivor, and her name is Jane. And basically, Jane completed a UX course, and she landed a role in a product company, but unfortunately suffered from a layoff. And after sending out hundreds of applications, she wasn't having any luck, and she needed to take a retail job. Due to that, she would describe her career break as unproductive, disappointing, embarrassing, and isolating. So some of her goals include overcoming this imposter syndrome and seeing the value in the skills that she's achieved during her career break. So this is what a roadmap of our success looks like. So for Sprint 1, so far, we've built a landing page, created a security pop-up, and implemented a language button. For Sprint 2, we've worked on archetype selection, archetype illustrations, and soft skill assessment. For Sprint 3, we're going to be working on results page development, responsive design. We're going to be doing usability testing and creating archetype illustrations. So let's see it in action. So as you can see, this is our landing page. You can see our logo, you can see our language selector bar, and a call to action. Down here, you can see we have a little bit about our vision statement and really emphasizing that you are the hero of your story. We break up what our process looks like, which is choosing an archetype, doing our quiz, and getting your results. And finally, we talk a little bit more about the art of storytelling. So our MVP feature is to gamify storytelling and transform how people think about their skills and experiences. So JourneyWise helps users feel confident about themselves instead of trying to make them fit into a box. And not only that, but JourneyWise helps users positively change their perspective on what skills they've acquired. So moving on, we have created some archetypes here. And as everyone knows, imposter syndrome is really tough and really vulnerable. In this part, we have users select an archetype that resonates with them most. We created these archetypes because we want to add playfulness and fun to our product, and selecting an archetype is an important step in redefining your story. So as you can see, we have the perfectionist, we have the recluse, and we have the soloist. And each has a little bit of a description below so users can pick like, oh, that kind of sounds like me. Okay, cool. So after they choose an archetype, you move on to the next step, which is answering some questions. So we have 8 questions total, and we use this information along with the archetype selected to help us gain better insight on the soft skills users have. And finally, we have our results page coming soon. And this part will be completed during Sprint 3. And basically, we'll have more insight about users' value, and they will see their transformed version of themselves through archetypes and see a page filled with their top skills. And we're going to be testing this in Sprint 3. And finally, next slide, Q&A session.